to this, get an official start. We already started a little bit later. But this is your first time seeing me on your timeline. Welcome in, baby. May you forever love it here and know that this is your tribe. Spirit sent you here for such beautiful reasons. I feel you, sis. And if you are tribe, welcome in, my love. Come on and have your assigned seat. Know that I love you so very much. We go together real bad. And I appreciate you heavily for being a reflection of the Most High, being a reflection of me, being a beautiful accountability partner of mine, for being a person who is mindful of me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Even when I reflect on my true tribe, I feel extremely grateful and honored to be connected to you guys, and even just to be loved by y'all, you know. And, you know, a part of the message of, you know, what I'll get into in just a few here is, you know, kind of connected to what I'm about to say. But in all honesty, I have just been a person who has, you know, I have never felt safe, you know, and I'm not going to say never felt safe, right? Because when I look back over everything, I've always been safe. But as far as safe as being able to depend on people or even just feel safe to be accepted for who I am, has not been a casualty of mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what y'all give means a lot. The love means a lot, you know. So I appreciate y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all for showing up. I appreciate y'all for looking out for me, right? And in the literal way of like, Coach, you good? Where you at? What's going on? Hey, Michelle says, hey, Lanika, welcome in, y'all. You good, and the way of, you know, if I, you know, need help, you know what I'm saying, like, there's you know, it's just safe, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So yeah, may we continue to win together, okay? It's even interesting to see, you know, if you have been around with me for a year or more now, right? Because I think a lot of y'all started coming around July last year. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of y'all did. But it's just interesting to see, you know, where we were then versus now, individually, but even as a collective. Ashe, sis, you're so welcome. It's my honor. It's interesting to even, you know, see all of the things that we have grown through and, you know, read through. A lot of you guys are regulars with me. Hey, Tawanda, baby. So, you know, I've been with you on your journey, your spiritual journey, and just following through the storyline, and, you know, even the conversations of that we can have together. Everything has matured, you know, so much more, and even our focus in a lot of ways has shifted, you know. And let me do this, because clearly I'm just talking. Spirit, let me give this official open. Thank you for a beautiful day. Please bless out loud. Invite our benevolent ones in to be with us, to let it be all that it needs to be today. Let only the people that need to be here, Spirit, come through in this energy. Spiritual and physical protectors, you are free to protect us from all this. Thank you. Ashe. Okay, but yeah, I was thinking about the other day, you know, Spirit was kind of showing me some visions of, you know, certain people that's in my bloodline and everything. And he was showing me essentially like the visions of like what I have been talking about over the past year, and between my Facebook page and, you know, when I started going live on TikTok. You know, and you heavily last year, if you was around, you know, the messages was all spirits just talking about what he was going to be doing to those karmic energies. Like he was going in. Hey baby, this is Collective. Welcome in, beautiful. He was going in on like what he was going to be doing to, you know, them karmics and shit like that. And so it came a time to where I guess just like me as a healer or a reader, I was just wondering, I guess, how long I would have to talk about that, or, you know, the readings would be going in that direction, you know, speaking of those things, right? And I feel maybe around, maybe like October, November last year is when we finally kind of got that shift out of that energy, out of that like real Libra, you know, justice, judgment type energy, and then we kind of shifted into the things that are to come, right? Like the good side of judgment and justice. So even as we, you know, speak now and like the past few readings that we've been doing, right, where Spirit has still been showing like this sense of duality, because everything that he said last year, he still stand on that. You feel me? Yeah, he still stand on that real heavy. But also there is this need for us to shift the focus, and when I say us, I mean the chosen ones, right? The star seeds here. Ashe sis. It's a need for us to shift the focus to be prepared for the good side of things that are coming in. And even when I started off this reading and I was like, I don't even know that we will use cards today, because the message that Spirit was giving me was pretty clear to convey to you guys. But it was like, prepare, you know, for protection in this physical realm, okay? And even like what I just said, like for myself, you know, that I've always been protected. And for a lot of you too, if you're sitting here talking to me, you have been as well too. Because more than likely, at some point, whether you knew it or not, there was an attempt on your life by some dark energy. We starseeds, baby. I don't have to know your story to know that that is a part of your truth. And if you carry such a gift as we do, no matter what your gift is, but it just has the scent of God on it, it makes them vultures come out. You feel what I'm saying? So the fact that we are sitting here alive and well says all that we need to know about the fact that we have been unconditionally protected, right? Now, when it comes down to the physical journey, right, and the emotional aspect of things, how our journey looked, right? How we allowed ourselves to be hurt, right? Or how long it may have taken us to realize our worth so that we wouldn't, you know, stay in certain situations that were beneath us, or that were, you know, not serving where we were trying to elevate to. In those spaces, right, we put ourselves, I'm not even gonna say we put ourselves, our storyline put us in a sense, enough of a sense of danger, right? Or it put us in a situation to where we could experience what the lack of physical protection, right? When you look at the people that are around you who, oh, this is my person, this is my father, this is my mother, this is my whoever that I look to protect me. But then you go through this experience of watching this person either be the one to harm you, or they allow somebody else to do it, right? So the one thing that I think Spirit, you know, can kind of really see, right, at this place where we're at on the entire spiritual journey, and even where judgment is beginning to take place. The one thing that Spirit can really see for the starseeds, right, as when he looks at us as humans, is he sees this tough extremity that we all have developed, right? Now, and I want y'all to really think about this too, because even the timeline of what I was talking about, how we all got connected, you know, the shift of the conversation is important to this message too. Because notice as well how it's only been what, like recent years, maybe 2 or 3 years, right? Maria, I got you, baby. Is that okay, that's Turner. Yeah, I got you, Maria, sis. You'll be number 4. It's only been maybe 2-3 years, right, that we've been on this whole like soft life conversation, right? Everything else before then, y'all know, it's like, fuck these folks, ain't nobody finna hurt us, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gon' do what we gotta do, no friends, my circle is nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it wasn't like we wanted to be there, but it was like, are we proud of the fact that we have figured out a way to protect ourselves in all of this? Yeah. Are we glad that we can finally stop feeling like we getting drugged through the motherfucking mud and dirt emotionally? Yeah, because we done figured something out here. If I say fuck it to all you bitches, you know what I'm saying, like, and nobody gets close to me, then who's gonna hurt me? And so begins this whole development of these, what do I want to call it? Toxic independent habits. Is that what we can call it? I should say, so this is for you, corporation. Toxic independent habits, right? And this is why I always say to y'all, and I'm glad that we can have this conversation in depth today, because this comes out in a lot of you guys' readings and even in the collective. But when I tell y'all all the time, I'm like, I get it. When you have this hard exterior about you, or when you're in this energy, right? Like, say for instance, y'all know, a couple of y'all, I'll be doing a love reading, or you will do a reading and you'll go with the flow. And spirit start talking about love, and you be like, Coach, nah, I ain't come here for all of that, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is, or if spirit is saying, like, you know, something about friends or something like that, and it's like you feel that little weird trigger in your heart to be like, right? But it's like that part of you is like, but why do I feel like that? Because I want that. I want wholesome friendship. I want to be loved on. I want family. But it's this, baby. It's what we have developed in our survival mode that has turned us into motherfucking stone people in a way. And I'm not even gonna say that we are stone people, right? But the way spirit is seeing us, right? The way spirit showed me this message, the way that he felt this grief in his heart looking at us, because he still sees the hard exterior. And you feel what I'm saying? Hyper independence. Yes, that's it, sis. Yes, that's the perfect word for it. Very toxic, right? But for a lot of us, right, we know, as we're on this journey day by day, and even as we've been holding each other's hands, you know, holding each other accountable through all of this, we know it ain't nowhere near what we used to be, right? We like, yeah, every day I'm striving more and more for that soft energy, for that soft life. I'm striving, right? But when I tell you, like, where we stand right now and where we will be in the near future, right? When spirit begins to make these changes, all of these things again that the readings have been promising, we're gonna recognize just how not so soft, you get what I'm saying, we are now. Yeah. Okay, sis, right? All of these things, y'all. And so even just being able in this moment, right, to take a sense of, like, let's reflect. Let's just like look in the mirror, right? Let's see it through here, okay? And understand even where spirit is coming from. And what I will say is, spirit is not just looking at us and feeling this energy of grief. But you know how, y'all remember what I was saying? This was probably back in April, May, where I was just like hella emotional. And I was coming on here, and when I was talking to y'all, it was one time in particular I was saying that I was very upset with spirit. And I was telling spirit that I was upset because it's like, and it was for me, but I was definitely speaking for the whole, right? Because y'all are a reflection of me too. But my thing was coming from spirit. Why do we keep having to do it the hard way, right? When you have already made all of these promises or said that things for the chosen ones. Now, we don't give a fuck what's hard for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get that. Yeah, we see that y'all supposed to live a hard life. But Spirit, you gave us a sense of like exemption. You get what I'm saying? And not in general, right? Because this is speaking to people who have already shit been hard forever. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we speaking to people who we done already lived the hardship. We done already willingly done it the hard way. But now that you have given us this space to say, hey, I don't want to do it hard no more. I accept the easy. When do, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you start answering those prayers, right? And that was the thing at that time that I was like heavy on Spirit about, like, because I talk to God like me. You feel what I'm saying? But I try to for myself. Not that I'm afraid of God, you know, how God will respond, because I know God know me. But as far as me, I never want to get to the space to where I'm questioning God in an unhealthy way. But at that point in time, I was like, nah, God, like, that shit ain't right. And the place in which I'm coming from says, like, look at what we've been doing. You feel what I'm saying? And I get it again that there is a level of us that is so spoiled, because like I said, the fact that we're sitting here now alive says a lot, because people been trying to take our life. So it ain't like we looking at God and saying like, you ain't doing nothing for us. But it's like, God, where it hurts, we ain't feeling the relief. The parts where, you know, where God's saying like, if my people would, you know, who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, then I will, you know, if they will seek my face, right, then I will look upon the earth, right, and hear their prayers. So again, I can't speak for nobody who ain't been praying, but baby, we've been praying. We've been seeking God. You feel me? So I'm like, as I'm sitting down at the calculator, Spirit, as we're on the scale, and the scale is hitting the shoulder lean, and we over here heavy as fuck on this side, please, God, drop on us what we need. And so it's not to say, because God is all knowing, so God know these things, right? But even as I tell y'all, when I read for y'all, there's something about you expressing your sentiments. There's something about your verbal, like, help, like, or thank you, or fix this for me, Spirit, or I need this, or I want this, that really sends God into action. So it's almost like what I felt from God today, or even the grief that I felt from God today, or even how he was observing us in our human form and being like, why do y'all look like stone people moving around? I'm like, it's because what we talked about back in April, Spirit. What I was hollering and mad about and all fussy about, and them 2 days that I didn't pray because I was mad at you. Yeah, that's why. And it's like, under the exterior of all of that, Spirit, like, beautiful souls. You feel me? And I feel that even when I say like I'm grateful for this space, you know, because I know that a lot of you guys are probably a lot like me, that, you know, you're either mostly in hermit mode, like you keep to yourself, or when you go out in public, there's still kind of like this sense of like, not you're hiding, but it's like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you feel, okay, sis, like, for real, like, it's just, I just want to get through this day, like, with nothing else, Spirit, because everything that I feel like I'm still carrying never leaves me. And even in the moments where, you know, we can pray and tap in with our spirit guides and release some things, it's like the reality, Spirit, still has to shift. There's still going to be this like dissatisfaction until the reality has shifted. And even the hardness, again, that when you see us moving and doing what we need to do for ourselves, and there's such a masculinity to it, it's what it is. Yeah. All the things y'all saying is so valid. So this is why I say, like, it ain't just Spirit now looking and seeing us in that way. Because I'm for real, y'all. Like, and even what I said to y'all, because there's a part of me sometimes that would be a little challenged when I would get messages like this, because it's like, how can God be surprised? God know everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can God be surprised? But it's almost like, y'all remember what I told y'all last year, how for a lot of you, we surprise God by way of how quickly we pass some of these tests. And even when I talked about in that reading, can't remember when I did this, in one of the replays, but I talked about how for a lot of you, your waiting period has felt so long because you really did, you were on the advanced track on your learning. And maybe like around this time expected, you were supposed to be just now wrapping things up or passing these tests or closing out cycles. But baby, last July, we were sitting on, you know what I'm saying, finished tests, sitting on letter A's, pass, A+. So that time in between, right, for a lot of you, because even when we think about that rigidness or the stoneness, like I said, most of the time when we see that, we think about a person who hasn't healed. So it's like all of those calluses is from your hurt and you hardening things. But nah, for some of us, it's literally the hardening of having to do so fucking much in the physical. Yes, God has been helping us energetically, you know what I'm saying? Even just being able to not lose our mind through what this feels like has been all God. And we'll never discredit God for that. But the physical shit has not been made right in a lot of ways. Some things yes has, but there's still a lot of balance that got to be brought around this motherfucker. And Spirit is really understanding this. So even in response to that, in answer to all of this, Spirit is like, prepare for physical protection to come into your life. And for a lot of us, the way in which we ended up in this position in the first place, having to do so much, having to take on so much, is because somebody did not want to be who they were supposed to be in our lives. And that's the one thing that a lot of us will not admit because of pride that we develop in survival mode. Again, that's when we was in this space of like, I don't need no fucking body, like, because we figured that shit out. Not that we didn't want to need somebody, but when we was crying and asking for help and nobody was answering, so we had to get the fuck up and do it ourselves. Yes, that's when we developed that and we learned that shit. And it was like, oh, I felt hopeless at first because I thought I needed somebody, but now that I figure out a one man show around this bitch, you get what I'm saying? But that, again, the way that testosterone was pumping, baby, from that masculine energy, energetically, for real. We was around here imbalanced as fuck, hormonally, all of that. But especially mentally. And that's the part that's the most, I think, even discouraging to Spirit, right? Like, as he's observing this, because that stone energy, again, can sometimes challenge your ability to allow things to flow to you. And this is that thing, right, with a lot of us too, right? Why we have to encourage each other so much not to give up in the waiting period, or not to drop our heads down in the waiting period and like a fuck it, I'm gonna go back into those old habits of doing it myself, or, you know, overworking myself, or, you know, going back into hustle mode, or doing this or doing that, or trying to find some sort of distraction, or trying to make things happen for myself, right? And it's like the whole time, what we always knew and what we still know, God gonna do it. God gonna change it. And everything on that list, right? Every single thing on the list. But sometimes it's like, how do we get the understanding in the waiting period, like that there's something that we need, there's something that's missing, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't even gonna say that it's missing, but even if it's just us needing a different understanding of how to shift our perception sometimes in these spaces, so that it don't feel like, ugh, yeah, okay, sis, ain't a bad thing at all. So it's almost like, I feel like whatever Spirit is doing right now, there's some wheels spinning, there's some conversations being had amongst our ancestors, and even, you know, God himself, right? Because a lot of us, I'll say this, for most of you, I know that I'm speaking about a very secret and sacred prayer, okay? So literally, sis, you said my exact prayer tonight. I know that. Because these are things as well that we don't even feel safe to talk about. That's how unsafe we feel. But even what, like I said, y'all have seen me over the past few months go through, and even the way Spirit has challenged me to still be public about what's happening with me. And the thing is, there's a part of me, y'all, that I know that y'all love me, and I get how y'all look at me, but there's a part of me that also is very far away from how highly y'all look up to me. And that needs to stay that way for the sake of my grounding, right? But there's the seriousness of knowing how much y'all trust me is very real. So even in that, like, and I'm gonna be very honest with y'all, even now in this moment, these have been prayers and tears of mine for a while. But I have never felt, I'm gonna say it like this, my mindset before was that if I were to show y'all that part of me, you get what I'm saying, or to show y'all that I was struggling with that, then that would make y'all waver on your faith or think that I'm wavering on my faith. That's really what I feel like. I'm being 100% honest. Because there's, every part of me wants to be very vulnerable with y'all and is committed to that. But for a long time, that area, and even when y'all saw me just having those moments where I was just like, I don't get it, y'all, and I'm upset with Spirit, and you know what I'm saying, like, I'm tired of this, and even, you know what I'm saying, like, challenged on showing up as a healer, because it's like, again, when we look at the scales and look at everything, it's almost like I said before, when you start a new job, right, and they tell you like, oh, it'll be the 3 weeks before you get your first paycheck, because you have to lapse of one pay period and then another before it counts, right? So when it comes, it's all gonna drop on you at once. You still gonna get it, but that waiting period, or that 3 weeks where you feel like you just going in for nothing, that's where it's like, baby, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. You feel what I'm saying? Really done fell off, and now I'm cliffhanger. If y'all used to have PBS kids back in the day, and what was the show? Between the Lions, the library show, and the cliffhanger dude, every time we would come to the episode, he would still be there. Yeah, I felt like that. I felt like that. And so when it got to the point to where I had to express, for real, I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't hold it no more. I couldn't take it no more. And that too was even the challenge for me, because again, I'm a professional stone person. I'm a professional, put that face on, get it done, do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't worry about it. Don't even, question God. Just accept it as a part of your journey and find the good and the God in it. You know what I'm saying? Keep it moving. But that shit wasn't working no more. That talk wasn't working no more. Me being able to, retreat to that place wasn't working no more. So when I had to let it go, or even when I got to the space where it's like, okay, I can't not say anything, because I could literally be sitting here like doing a regular reading for y'all, and tears will be streaming from my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Because I have that type of strength still to just keep it moving, to keep going. But when the release has to happen, it has to happen. And I know that would look real crazy. I'm sitting here trying to do a reading and tears coming down and me not explaining what it is. You feel what I'm saying? So I had to express. And in that moment, that was Spirit converting my perception, first and foremost, of what I was going through, of what was happening. And it was just literally coming to that space of realizing, okay, you need help. You need to connect with others for help, right? Outside of your ancestors. As y'all know, again, them my folks. And they done kick me out a whole lot of times. Like, go to earth, go be a human. You know what I'm saying? Like, go. But it's just for real. And even, in the tribe, right? Like I said, there's a and a sense of accountability that always keeps me right here with y'all. Hey, Asia baby, that keeps me right here with y'all, like where I understand any and everything. But I also understand my place as the leader, right? And a lot of times when y'all come here and this, you know that this is your safe space. I just feel like, yeah, baby, I can't be in here, you know what I'm saying, being toe down too. I can't be in here struggling too. But even just like I said, how I was received in those moments, every moment. How even just the understanding of like, I'm not alone in what I feel, right? And we hear people say it all the time, but it's like, oh yeah, I get it. But when being alone is the choice, it's like, oh, but being alone is okay right now. But it's like in this space where you alone and now you got something to where you can't figure it out, and your brain ain't trained or conditioned to ask for help, that shit hit different. And so even the whole complexity of this, y'all, this is what God is getting ready to change. This is what God is seeing and understanding. And even for the deeper level of healing, right? Because over the last few readings, that's been the thing that has been coming out. Feel what you need to feel. Ashe says thank you. And for a lot of us too, right? Like in that same habit of being so hyper independent, we will equate emotionality or even just feeling like we're losing control of that as weakness. But it ain't. It ain't at all. Being able to exercise every one of your emotions without apology is the strength, the real strength and the real power. And it's the continuation of balance as well in your life. But right now, the biggest thing that Spirit is getting ready to, remedy for a lot of us, right? Even when we've been talking about having these past few readings about, people, the type of people that's getting ready to come into your life, soul family, friends, your lover, all of that. This is why. And Spirit is not only upset with those karmic energies for the most obvious ways in which they wronged us and mishandled us, but now as he looks at like his chosen, right? Because you remember I told you there's this separation that's happening, right? It's a very clear, depiction of who's who. And even though the stone energy that we exude, like that Spirit is seeing us in, that ain't physical. You know what I'm saying? Like in the physical, the people who done did right by God, baby, we out here shining. Okay, look at this. We shining, baby. We is shining. No makeup needed. If we choose it, cool. But no makeup needed. We shining, honey. Everything. Everything just shining. Some of y'all probably be looking at your skin like, damn, like, why is my... Because that's God. But when Spirit sees that stone, baby, he's seeing our aura. He's seeing not even our aura. He's seeing like our energy. He's seeing that, right? But everybody else, the folks who've been out here living that hard, rough, tough, who got that stony ass energy because of what they put out into this world, yeah, it's very obvious who's who. But it's like even as God is observing the separation even more, and he's looking at us, right? And even when I say to us a lot of times, right, this is supposed to be our time of like celebration. You know how like when you get ready to graduate, Ashe, when you get ready to graduate like high school or something like this. I'm gonna say high school in particular. And like those last few weeks, like right before, school is coming to an end, right around prom time and all of that, it's like you just be so motherfucking happy. You don't be giving a fuck about nothing, no test, no school. Like you just be knowing like I'm right there at the end. Like that. And so for a lot of us, Spirit has already promised us, baby, you right here. We know it. But it's like, why did this feel like the most miserable part? You feel what I'm saying? Like, so even Spirit just looking down, our ancestors looking at us and like, why they not jumping up and down? Why they not celebrating? Why they not smacking their ass every day, every hour on the hour? You know what I'm saying? Why do they have to be encouraged to do that? And it's like, as they, for real, recalculating things and looking, it's like, oh, they tired. They tired. They ain't got nobody to celebrate with. You feel me? So it's like, I do feel like, for real, like, y'all, we have bombarded heaven. I do feel that. Because even just the way I got this message from Spirit, and like I said, between the grief and the compassion I felt in his heart and his voice, like, as he was speaking, like, I think they understand. Because even the understanding too of, like, you know, and y'all take this how y'all resonate, but this is just how it resonated with me. But the understanding of, like, Jesus coming down to earth, right, to live through the experience. It always took, you know, somebody divine having to come into human form to understand this. To understand this. Ashe. So sometimes, for real, like, and even when I tell y'all, like, when I, you know, when I'm translating, you know, when ancestors are coming through, like, I have to put some of their things into, like, human words, or I have to filter some things, right? Because the way they say things may be harsh, right? They don't understand our human filters. And I feel like there's a lot of concepts, right, that they may not understand of what's happening, you know, on the physical earth. Yes, they can observe all of the darkness, right? And that's the thing that we have had to learn so much about, how to not just see, oh, a hating bitch as a hating bitch. It's like, no, you're a hating bitch that comes with this type of dark energy of oppression. That oppression is trying to get me to stop doing what I'm doing, because I am a light being of God. So the way in which it does it, you know, because we are humans, is to attack me and my human emotions. And so even though this is a human experience, in real time, it's spiritual warfare that's happening. You trying to get me to step down on my confidence. You trying to get me to step into an energy that does not serve me, so that I am losing in my spiritual power. But in real time, what's actually happening in the physical is just, you just a hating ass bitch. And I have a choice of how I'm going to respond to that. You feel what I'm saying? So there's two different things that's happening here. And a lot of times what Spirit is really focused on and pushing through us is the spiritual aspect. But I feel, for real, there is like somebody, maybe it is Jesus up there, like, hold on, Spirit. Like, when they say that shit hard, like, this the part where Jesus was like, God, if you want to take this cup from me, now will be a good time. You feel what I'm saying? And God was right there I'm saying Jesus was right there at the mission that he knew he came to earth for. He had lived all 33 years, and right there at the end, he was like, you sure? You feel what I'm saying? But that's where we at. And I feel, for real, God, that there has been an answering from God to this cry. Even the angel I told y'all last week that came by and visited me, Angel Azrael. When I looked, I'm like, who? I keep hearing Azrael, Azrael, what does that mean? And it was like an angel sent to you for help. Sent from God, like help sent from God to you. And that's the first time I have ever heard, like, I have heard Israel pronounced like that, like Israel, but I had never heard the name Azrael. And literally 5 times in 1 week, 2 days actually, it wasn't even a whole week, because by the second day I had heard it so often. I'm like, what does that mean? I was like, I need to look it up. I keep hearing it. And when I looked it up, it was the angel sent. Let me make sure I'm saying it word for word what it is, but I know it's an angel full of help sent from God, Azrael. Give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, and it's an Islamic angel too that make a whole lot of sense to me. Anyway, Azrael does not act independently, but is informed by God when the time is, yeah, okay, listen. And this one too, in Islam, it means coming to take people away in death, okay? Because that's something new. Hebrew, angel of God, or help from God. So yeah, and even for a lot of y'all too, even as I said too about that energy of this being about people and people who fumbled you, and some people too, whether they know it or not, their only purpose in this world was to take care of you. And the fact that, Ashe, and the fact that, you know what I'm saying, like, they literally did not do that, for some of them, it's like their purpose on earth is like, it's done. Like, so you can go ahead and head on out. You can go ahead and clock out for me. You can go ahead and clock out for me. So whatever is happening, y'all, for real, Spirit is saying just prepare for protection, prepare for help, and in the physical. And it's going to come through people, right? Because Spirit for real is understanding the importance, right? And even as we are starting to learn and understand the importance of human connection when we're safe to have it, that's something that for real, as we choose that, as we continue to choose that, as we continue to choose to ask for help and connect with others, that's going to be an idea that is elevated in this earth, that is going to be as well something that is sent out into the universe to be recreated over and over and over again. These safe spaces are going to expand. These energies of judgment-free zones and judgment-free, care and handling is going to be more of a storyline than it is, oh, I can't trust nobody, oh, keep your shit tight, keep your enemies, or they say keep your friends close and your enemies closer type shit. Like, can we all just take a nap? Can we all just get back to the days to where I could leave my front door unlocked, and even if you do walk in, I ain't got nothing to worry about, you know what I'm saying? Because you probably just coming over and bring me your fresh round of yams that you just picked out your garden. And coming to pick up the peppers I left for you at the front. And told you to come by and get them whenever you're ready. You feel what I'm saying? Like, because what the fuck else are we doing? And the fact that, again, we have all avoided that conversation, right? Or we done stayed up out of it, like, whatever else y'all got going on that ain't God, that ain't divine, and however else y'all occupying y'all time, really don't got nothing to do with us. It really don't. But for everything, y'all, that we have been working for, that we have been holding space for, and even those things that we may not even realize as of now that we really, really need, like the people, like the companionship, like the sense of community that you can depend on. Yeah, it just started ringing. That's what's flowing in now. And I do feel, that for this collective, for whoever's watching this message, like, that's what Spirit wants you to know. Like, whatever your prayer has been about, being able to soften up, and especially if your hardness stems from the fact that you have had to be everything and everybody to thine own self. That is about to change for you, baby. It is. And even the way in which you see God respond to you, you're going to understand that God understands in a different way. God understands in a different way. And for real, like, even that energy of how biblically they'll talk about Jesus is an intercessor for us, right? And I get it now, because I used to be a little challenged in their understanding of, like, when they would say, well, Jesus would have to intercede for us because we may not know what we need. And there's an aspect of me that's like, yeah, I kind of get that, because God is all knowing. So it's like, God, even the things that I can't see, even the things that my human self limits me from seeing, cover that too. You know what I'm saying? Cover me in that way too. But I took so much, pride in the other understanding as well as, but the veil has been torn. So I can come to you anytime I want to. I can speak to you anytime I want to. I can, lay it out there anytime I need to. But I also get it even more now when it says those parts where we may not be able to convey what it is that we need, right? Because a lot of times how we feel like the solution should come is God giving us things that'll make it easier for us to do it by ourselves. Raise your hand if you're guilty. Before you pray for somebody else to come in and help you in that way, you will pray for somebody to come in and give you something so you can help yourself. Raise your hand. And God know that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes more than money, you need a friend. Sometimes more than just a quick fix of okay, give me this. You need a long term, you know what I'm saying, like provider. But when you have this bad taste in your mouth about depending on people, you'll never pray for that. You'll never ask for that. You feel what I'm saying? And that be the places where Jesus come in. I feel like it'd be like, you know what? Listen, Spirit, I lived this. I went down to earth before, and what he or she don't know that she need right now is this right here. Give it to her. Give it to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's giving here. That's what it's giving. So right now, I do feel, right, and even that's what God is saying too, that a lot of us, you know, we're learning how to, we're still learning in all ways how to come out of survival mode, and even learning how not to pray in survival mode, like we're begging God for things or praying from a space of desperation, because that allows us for real, and it's almost like, seriously, like just like what I said, instead of praying for provisions or praying for a provider, you pray for the quick fix. Well, God, if you just give me this, I won't have to worry about that. If you just change this, you know what I'm saying, like, then this will take care of 5 different things right here. If you just do this, but it's like, even when we look deeper into why those 5 things are a problem, it's something bigger, it's something greater. There's an overall, you know what I'm saying? So that's what Spirit is kind of like seeing now. And I feel too, even as looking at our prayers and the things that we have been asking for, maybe from that place of desperation, or, you know, from the place of just wanting something like, okay, I want to fix now, or I need relief now in this moment, right? Spirit understands, okay? Spirit understands, and he gets it. And he is continuing to reaffirm within us that the solutions that he's providing to us in this physical realm are long-term solutions. And these are solutions as well that will long-term pull you up out of that masculine energy, that will pull you up out of that space to where you're having to do a whole bunch of other people's job. It's going to soften you up, loved one. And as we've stated before, the only thing that you need to do right now is to keep your heart open for that. Now keep petitioning Spirit, right? Because again, and as I told y'all, it's funny because it's probably been about a month now. But I don't know if y'all remember, like at the beginning of, I think it was like end of April, beginning of May. So it's over 2 months now. We was like, all right, we're gonna hold each other accountable, y'all, every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna touch and agree. We're gonna bombard heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, with what it is that we need. Like, we're gonna let Spirit know, right? And we just gonna try our best to stay in this energy of positivity. You know what I'm saying? Not letting, you know, fears and things cause doubts in our minds and things like that. And I feel like maybe this is like the response to it. I really do. Even just the way that I knew, like today, like I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna need any cards for this reading, because the message was very clear, and it came into me last night right before, you know, I went to bed to get up this morning. Song coming on in the background, it's gonna be all right. I know it's gonna be okay. So it's like, yeah, this right here, this is a powerful one, and I feel heavily that. It's like I said, especially too, because I know my sis Tracy was confirming, like, this is something you was just praying about, but whether you just prayed about it or you've been praying about it in the past, or if this ain't your energy right now, maybe this is a space you may come to on your journey in the future, baby. Please know. Please know. God responds. God is responding. And even, again, you being in the space now, if it's your time to express this more to God, be very open about what it is. Because it ain't even always about you trying to tell God what you need, right? That's our control issues most times that we have to let go of. But it is about expressing how much shit hurt you, which a lot of times that be the thing that's hard to express, because again, we correlate that with weakness, or we correlate that with the fact of saying, if I say this person hurt me, that feels like they beat me. That feels like they, you know, they won something, or I lost against them. But no, the admittance of your hurt, you know what I'm saying, is sometimes that very thing that sets God and your ancestors into action. But you, either way, baby, you're going to heal, you're going to win, you're going to come out on top. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened in the little small spaces, in the small rooms. Maybe the big room, the overall, when it's all said and done, we won. We won. Shay says. So, I love y'all. And for real, like I said, I know this is a very specific message, and I can only begin to know that if it's for you, how it touched your heart, because I know how it touched mine. Even just, you know, with me in spirit. And I ain't gonna say me in spirit ain't been right since then, but it has been different. Like, not in a negative way, but the way in which I just dealt with or talked to spirit was, I don't know, like, I guess it was a part of me that was just like, I don't want spirit to see me that way, as if God can't see everything, right? But like, when I come before God, like, I ain't trying to come all angry, you know. And even the times when I would pray while I was angry, like, most of the time I would just let myself cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how, like, when you get mad at somebody and you can't respond how you want to, so tears just jump out your eyes. Like, most of the time I would just let myself express through the tears, because it's like my words, when I'm mad, if they can cut so much, they can be so heavy, so hard. It's like, you know, I don't want to talk to God like that. But it's like, for real, God know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's almost like that daddy-daughter situation, to where, you know, a daughter can, like, explode on her father, like, oh my God, I can't take this. And I ain't say this to God, but just the example, like, I hate you, and and, you know, and the daddy might be infuriated, or, you know, she may be saying that because her daddy done told her to do something that she didn't want to do, or whatever, or took something from her, or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, baby, God gonna come in there and apologize, and she gonna apologize to God, to dad. I'm saying God, the dad gonna come in there and apologize, and she gonna apologize to the dad, and it's gonna be all sweet, and the dad gonna be like, you want $100 here, go shop. You know what I'm saying? That type shit. So even in that, right, it seems like for every situation where I've had to walk away, it has been so, like, walk away for good, because my walk away was walking away from karmic shit. You feel what I'm saying? I had to walk away because a person was choosing to go down a karmic path that I was not on. So I had to be very strict about that. And so most of the time, what that would condition in my mind is that, baby, when you done, you done. You feel what I'm saying? Like, most people ain't gonna get it back. Ain't gonna, you know, do what they need to do. Or again, if they do, it's gonna be at a time to where, you know what I'm saying, like, you're gonna be so far gone to where they can't even contact you or reach you or whatever it is. So that, for real, just began to develop that energy of, like, all right, you know, ain't no we forgive each other and we cool again. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna forgive you, but the being cool again, it probably ain't, because for real, being such an understanding person, it ain't nothing small that I left over. It ain't nothing small that made me, you know what I'm saying, understand, like, nah, this ain't for me no more. You know what I'm saying? It was something that was like, that's a part of your character. That's something that you're going to be locked into. And in the long run of this, I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with being connected to that. That's not going to work for me. Or that's going to cause me to compromise something that I need for myself. And when I have manifested friendships or any relationship in my life, that's not what I asked for. I've dealt with imbalanced relationships, and I don't want that anymore. So for real, like that energy of just understanding that with God, like it's unconditional. It ain't nothing that I can say or do that's gonna make God wanna just like be like, girl, I'm not gonna help you no more. You know what I'm saying? Or girl, we don't go together no more type shit. Like, no, like it's so I even in that like get into that space to where I could express myself all the way to God about me being upset with him and how things was going and all of that. Like that was big for me. But it felt so different after that. It felt so different, but it was me still being in that energy, like I said, of learning that me and God still okay. Like that's unconditional. Because even with me, and I have to a lot of times use myself as an example, like the way in which I handle people, you know, there is a very unconditional sense to it. What I can't do is if people are pushing me away, you know what I'm saying, or you're telling me openly that you don't want my help. I'm a person that's very face value. Yeah, 6:06 on the clock. I'm gonna give you what you know what I'm saying. Like if that's what you saying to me, then cool. But if you are in the space to where you're saying like I want the help and I need the help, baby, I'm finna get in there and I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help the fuck out your ass. Okay? And we're gonna stick with it until we get to the solution that makes you feel like, all right, we good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's important for me for that to happen. So in that same light, you know, and even what I'm knowing that I'm attracting, right? I'm finally getting that energy back that I put out. That means that there's gonna be somebody that's the same way with me. And even being a person who's been honest all my life, that's what I'm used to too. The moment that I'm honest with a person about something they don't want to hear, they're gonna walk away. And so a lot of times I would either have to choose sitting on a whole bunch of truths and not saying how I really felt just to keep the peace, right, of the room, or get into this space of just telling the truth and I know you're going to run away, so I just got to choose to be alone. And over the past few years, like I said, it's just been like, baby, it's truth over everything. It's peace over everything. And even in times and situations where I knew in that moment, like I knew always, when I speak this truth, it's going to rub you the wrong way, or you're going to feel away and run away or whatever. I had to be okay with like, again, well, alone again. Back to, you know what I'm saying, back to what we know. And at that point, right, we had already made peace with being alone. But just again, that understanding and how that shit was just challenging my whole view of unconditional love and just the continual conditional love that I was always being offered, or conditional circumstances that at any point that I was 100% me, somebody was mad, somebody was feeling the way, somebody was intimidated, and it was like, bro, I don't know what the fuck to do. And literally getting to the space where the only way I felt like I could be the fullness of me was to be by myself. But it's like, what, you gonna be by yourself every day? Because you gotta be you all the time. But that's where spirit is like now, you know. And a lot of things we just gotta make it make sense here. Because even the strong people need help. Even the powerful people need company, and they need friends, and they need, you know what I'm saying, a hug, and they need a laugh, and they need to be thought of, and they need to be sent a funny meme, and they, you know what I'm saying, all of that. Y'all want us to be the fucking Power Rangers so goddamn bad, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to watch us on TV so bad and not care about what happened to us after we do that trick you like. But bitch, we are human. I am human. Coach Terica is human. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna close this message out here. I love y'all so very much. And please know again that, you know, despite what I'm going through, whatever I feel, whatever is happening, like, I'm here. I'm here for y'all. I love y'all so heavily, and I again continue and just look forward to the day that we all can sit in this space and just have testimony time. You feel me? Yeah, like let's just all sit and have testimony time over mimosas, margaritas, McAllen's, whatever the hell we need, child. Blunts. Whatever is float your boat, baby. Just come talk about it. But for real, I love y'all. And I want to bring y'all again that bit of relief today from Spirit. Like, her Spirit very clear. Protection is coming. Provision is coming. And even just knowing too, like I said, that your prayers have been heard on a different level. There's been a lot of petitioning for us on our behalf. I feel from Jesus and our ancestors to other spirit guides, maybe even angels, child, our protectors. The ones that's probably been down here, you know, on guard for us, probably even been like, God, I ain't gonna lie, they been trying your chosen now. You had to do a little something, okay? I feel you now. Yeah, I feel like that's what's been happening too. Like, everybody probably been speaking up on our behalf because it's ghetto. This motherfucker. But when we get our boost and our recharge, baby, don't worry about it. Ain't gonna be ghetto much longer, okay? I love y'all, all right? Thank you, Spirit, for this. Thank you so much for this message. Thank you as well for giving me the strength to convey it the way that it needs to be conveyed. I pray, Spirit, that every person that has heard this message, that will hear this message, that it settles and rests in their heart in such a beautiful and healing way, and in a way that gives them a second wind to keep moving forward. Thank you, God, for feeling us, for understanding us, for knowing us, God, and responding to us. And continue, God, to help us to stay open and aware of all of the ways in which you are answering our prayers, showing us love, God, and making things easier for us. I pray that every person as well that is listening to this message has an activation in this moment that has their heart wide open and vulnerable in the best way to receive all of the goodness of every day and every moment that lies ahead of them. And give them, Spirit, the greatest testimony that you are God, that you love us, and that you have always and will continue to be mindful of us in every situation. Thank you for safety, Spirit. Thank you for provision. Thank you for blessings. Ashe. Ashe, ashe. All right, gets me about the hood, baby, okay? That's the goal. But I love y'all, okay? If you are leaving after this collective, thank you for being here, beautiful soul. Okay? Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube if you have not. Don't forget as well to click that link. I don't even know if I got the link in my bio, child. I don't got nothing up. Fuck. Don't forget to click the link in my bio in the description box. I'm finna put it in there. To become a member on Patreon, okay? You can become a free member or a pledging member. There's 15 options for the pledging members, okay? The live reading from yesterday has been posted to Patreon as well, too. Okay, so if you want that full replay, it was a love reading if you missed it. A beautiful love reading as well. Go back and tap into that, okay? Or if you did, if you were here and you just want to watch it again, it is available on Patreon, and that link is now in the description box, okay? As well, if you want to show a little love, a little donation to the PayPal or the Cash App on your way out, that is also linked in the description box as well, too, okay? Let's shift gears, all right? Let's get into the list for those who have sent in for personal readings. The list is still open for a while if you would like to send in and get a personal reading. Readings are $22.22. Okay, mini readings, one question, or we can go with the flow of what Spirit has for you. And as well, those payment methods are in the description box for you to send in. Okay. Right now on the list I have Michelle, April, Mariah, and Maria. Right. There is an option as well too if you want a quick yes or no confirmation. Thank you, sis. We love your vibe too. If you want a quick yes or no confirmation, you can send in 555 to one of those payment methods as well that is in that link. Okay. So Michelle, if you are ready, sis, I am ready for you. I don't know why I'm so drawn to this Oracle deck right now. Alright, sis. Spirit, let me tap in for my sweet sis, Michelle. I I do want to invite all of her benevolent ones into this reading to make it very clear and concise as we flow like water of what she needs to hear in this moment. And please do protect us as we channel and receive the messages. Ashe. Alright, Spirit, what is the message for my sister Michelle? We have change coming out. I do have Oracle for you, sis. I was led to start with this or to use this. Non-duality in reverse. We have limitless. We have letting go. Ooh, and I knew it. Divine grief coming out here and divine love. When I heard letting go, I heard somebody mad because they finna have to let go of your shit. And then the grief card came out right behind it. So that's exactly what I knew it was. And that change here, that's what's getting ready to change for you. That non-duality in reverse. There's something that is important too about, you remember when I told you before about, I confirmed, because I think you already knew, but I confirmed for you that somebody had like forged your signature on some things here. And with that non-duality coming out in reverse, and I'm hearing also, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. So it's like there's something for you, sis, that's being discovered right behind those forged signatures, those documents here. And I feel like it's actually been a while since we talked about this. Like this feels like one of the first messages that came out, like when we was confirming in general that, you know, there was an inheritance that was taken here. And it's feeling like whatever has happened here, because not only did somebody forge your signature, but I'm hearing there's something like somebody signed off on something spiritually too, like like something, if it was a spell or something like that, or like trying to do like an energy or a destiny exchange. And that is what is being switched in this moment. That's what's being reversed. Okay? Now, we know for you, as always, there was a lot of layers to this whole situation. Even the way in which how, you know, God just this year alone has been revealing so much more. But this right here is kind of showing me that even when it came down to the way in which your mom, her sister, the uncle as well too, the way in which they tried to really seal the deal on making sure that you never got this or that you never found out about this, they sealed it with something spiritual. And that's why, you know, even when it comes down to the justice coming to it, like in the courts and things being found and things like that, that's why it has been taking a minute here. Yeah, the lost card is flipping over too, because whatever they signed on here, and her in particular, I see three of them agreeing to this, her, a sister, and the brother, but your mom signed. And I almost feel like your mom signed those things that were spiritual, but it's almost like I'm hearing that your aunt, her and your aunt may have signed off on the legal things in like the courts. Yes, and the hidden thing, yep. Your mom and your aunt signed things in the courts. The spiritual ritual, your mom signed off on that. And what's so crazy about this is like in 2021, I think I told y'all about this before, in my personal situation when I tried to go back home and that girl had poisoned me. But we had talked before about you know, trying to manifest some things together. And I didn't know that whole time, like, she was trying to do spell work on me and trying to switch destinies with me. And one of the things that we did, we had wrote down a bunch of affirmations on the paper and things like that, but she got my signature at the bottom of the paper. We had never done anything like that. Candles was lit, all the dead crystals was around, and I'm thinking it's one thing, but she knowing that it's something else. But the one thing that was so important about that moment was the signature. And it's like I almost keep seeing that, like, in that moment, because I can remember very vividly the scene of the paper, the candles was around it, and I could see my hand signing on the line at the bottom. And so that's just what I keep seeing, like the signature. And that non-duality was for real. Like, that signature sometimes could mean, or was meant to mean, something like a destiny swap or a wealth exchange. But it was like not only in the physical, it was in the spiritual, sis. And that's why I say too, like, your mom, she went too far with this, because for her it wasn't just about the money. It was very much about that, but she wanted your life, sis. And that's why I say it's been a minute since we really talked about this. I can remember talking about this heavily when I first started, like, doing personal readings with you, when we first got connected. And just the jealousy of her and the hatred and just the way in which you were treated, you know, all throughout your life. But for real, it's like there was envy from day one. And I think I told you that too. Like, she was envious of you since you were a child. Before you even got to the space of, you know, having resentment for her, the way in which she treated you, you loved her unconditionally, but she still resented you. And so whatever this is, she saw an opportunity to try to swap destinies with you. And everything that's been going on right now, sis, like, even you seeing her go through, like, this downfall of, like, the physical life, like the finances, yes, and all of that, is because whatever she had before, sis, that was supposed to be yours. She did a destiny exchange on you when you were very young. And like I said, the things that her siblings know too. They not innocent at all. They know too, but I don't see them having signed off on anything spiritual. They just wanted the money. They wanted the money. They wanted that part of the deal that's like, well, as long as we get the inheritance, you know what I'm saying? Like, we cool on that. But she went too far with the whole spiritual aspect, because even what she conveyed to them originally was that the spiritual aspect was supposed to be just to hide it and to protect them so that you would never find out. And initially, she did not tell them about the destiny swap. That's something they found out after, when shit started going bad and they came back and was kind of like, hey, y'all think it's because of this? And that's when she finally, like, kind of like admitted to them that she had done something extra. And at that moment, they kind of knew, like, we may have fucked up, or you may have fucked this up for us because you didn't say all of that. Confirmation. You didn't say all of that. And she was kind of like, you know, in the energy, like, well, you know, kind of mad, like, well, it don't matter, like, that didn't have nothing to do with y'all, like, da-da-da-da. And, you know what I'm saying, like, that was just a deal that I made, but all of them knew, and whatever that moment was, they had fucked up. Because, like I said, even when I see them coming back, and I've seen this vision before, and it's making so much more sense now. Even when I keep saying, like, that fly on the wall type thing, like, I keep seeing them in this one room, like this little kitchen, talking. But I see them having gathered there, and I do feel that this was before your aunt passed away. That whole, you know, that for that dream and all that, I feel like this was like before. Possibly, maybe not before. Let me not say that, because I would like to confirm that before. But I do feel that this was back when this first conversation. Now, they've had several since then, because shit just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And for real, like, I know I keep referencing that show, like The Fall of the House of Usher, but that's what it gives. And almost like that moment where you know that when you signed that deal with the devil, and that moment that told you, like, yeah, this is a real bad idea, but you did it anyway. And when shit started happening, it's like you remember immediately that one moment to be like, y'all think it's because of this? So when they got to that moment of like, okay, shit kind of getting a little weird around here, you saying this happening to you saying this happening to you, they may have even been seeing some, like, you know, dark spiritual things and shit like that, and scared and shit like that. That's when she revealed to them how deep this had went, and she had done a destiny swap. And it's almost like I said, they wanted to be exempt because they felt, well, technically we didn't sign off on the spiritual part, but because the signing off on the money and the spiritual things was all connected, they was connected to that too. So the whole plague hitting everybody, even though she's the ringleader. And what, saying all this to say, right, because this is triggered from this reading, but the point here is that's the change that's happening here. Something with that signature, right? Even with her, the destiny swap is now being reversed. The non-duality, because it's like two people cannot inhabit your identity. You feel what I'm saying? It's almost like when you think about like a physical identity theft, like somebody trying to use your social security number. Two people can't be filing taxes with the same security number. Don't make sense. Somebody gonna get flagged in this motherfucker. And the real Slim Shady uses has been identified, and the fake bitch has been flagged. And Spirit is saying it's because of the lack of sanctity. She could never have the purity of your heart. Just because of the way she went about all of this, it tells us all that we need to know. So for real, when I say that there has been a flagging of her energy in the spirit realms here, and this gonna cause a big change for you, sis. And this makes sense because I'm not gonna lie, initially I felt like you finding what you needed to get as far as like your inheritance, the paperwork and all of that, I felt like initially it was going to be like a matter of, you know, just time, right? Like Spirit kind of breaking things down to you piece by piece. But now it makes so much more sense because of what they did to hide this shit. The spiritual links in which they went, and even the destiny swapping, right? The crazy part is, most people, when they do destiny swaps, they do it so that they can live and enjoy like this luxurious life that you're supposed to have. But she did it most of all, sis, so that you would not have it. And I'm saying this for real, sis. Like, I know, again, you a lot like me in the toughness of things, right? But I feel that, sis, that right there, that hits and that hurts differently. Because it's your mama first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, sis. Like, that energy, like, her sole purpose was to hide it. Her sole purpose was to hide it. She was willing to sacrifice literally her having like this miserable ass life so you would have it. She was willing. And the entirety of this time of her not having nothing, and even the times and spaces where you have struggled, you know what I'm saying, through what it is that you did have, or losing things, or whatever it was, all of this is somewhere hidden. And I think I've even said this before, right? That there are certain cases where, you know, when there's people in the family who've been responsible for killing everybody and setting them up and doing spell work, they have literally been sitting on millions of dollars worth of insurance policies. Because they're so devoted to the plot. They're so devoted to sitting in the midst of everything, not looking like the motherfucking bad guy when they are the whole time. It's almost like when you rob a motherfucker in the hood, you can't immediately go, you know what I'm saying, if they saw you on the corner yesterday begging for money, you know what I'm saying, like you can't immediately go and show up with a damn red Lamborghini the next day. You gonna get flagged, my boy. Where did you get the money? What happened? Who you took it from? So a lot of people were so devoted to the plot, they were willing to live a miserable ass life, but still sit on something, you know what I'm saying, to just say, hey, I got this, or I took it from somebody else, or they ain't gonna have it. So everything that belonged to you, sis, it really is being hidden. Now you can take that two ways. It's still being hidden and protected by the Most High, but it's also behind the intent of a stupid motherfucker trying to be hidden from you. And I'm hearing that for real, sis. She was successful in the wealth exchange. She just didn't do nothing with it. And whatever good life you may have seen, any bit of good life you may have seen her or her siblings living, it was off of you. It was your shit. I don't care where they said it came from. I don't care how they act like, oh, I worked hard for this and I earned this and I did this. It was your shit. But like I said, she was just so willing to be, you know, committed to that type of plot and storyline to where she wouldn't be out here spending money like that or acting like she had anything, or even not, in some cases, not even touching it. But the satisfaction of knowing that you would never have it was gratification for her. And that's fucking sickening. Because how can you be somebody's mother? But look how limitless is on top of loss. Because this is the truth of who you are versus what she wanted for you. And that's what it's coming to. And this limitless is on the same road with the change, the non-duality in reverse. So everything that she has done to try to stand in your stead or even be able to try to access something that belongs to you, coming in your energy, trying to, you know, act as though they are you, whatever it is, that forward signature, that shit is now being reversed. It's being undone. And this was another big one. This is another one of them changes that everybody gonna feel. Yeah. And Spirit's like, you can go ahead and start giving thanks for the expansiveness that's coming to you. See, it's gratitude and expansiveness here. Because whatever this is, for real, like, and this too, you know, even when we talked about, like, okay, you know, kind of asking Spirit about the timing of things and, you know, when will things return or when will you see things, right? Like I'm telling you, receiving at the bottom of the deck, freedom, outrageous openness coming out here. Even this, like knowing this fact right here. And what I talk about, how these readings are activations, because every time you learn something new and it's like an aha moment, it opens something else up inside of you. And the more you keep opening up, the more the secrets are going to keep coming out here. And in the secrets, for real, is the solutions for you. Yeah. The solution to the problems that she has created. So for real, sis, somebody has identified very clearly whatever was confused at first, whatever signature, you know what I'm saying, like she forward, she switched, whatever she did here. She has been spiritually flagged in that because of her lack of sanctity that you clearly have, you know what I'm saying, like, and that would clearly be found if somebody was looking for you, which I think that's what it is now, right? Because it's that time to give back to those, you know what I'm saying, what has been taken. It's time to replace the wealth where it's supposed to go. And it's like this transaction for you just keep being denied, and now it's so much so to where they're like, wow, what's going on? It's flagging it. Because it ain't going to the right person. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not in the hands of the right person here. So when I say for real, just knowing more and more of her energy and more of her spitefulness is, it makes so much sense of why she gonna have to get unalive to get up out of your way. Because for real, it's almost like she done said in her heart a long time ago, whatever the fuck she gotta do to stop you, to stop this, over her dead body type shit. And that's what's happening. Because like I said, change is here for you, sis. So this that I'm speaking of something that has already happened. And if you have been asking for help recently, you know what I'm saying, it's like really tapping in with your spirit guides with this invite help, they letting you know, baby, prayers answered. Yep. And I know too, especially what you have said about, you know, what we talked about with that land and everything too. Yeah. She may have even tried to do the same thing, and I may have said this to you, sis. I almost feel like this is deja vu. Either it feel like deja vu or I've said this to you in that personal reading. But like I said, everything that's meant to be good for you, motherfuckers want to touch. They want to taint. They want to try to take it away. But this right here, she cannot do that. And even with the land and all of that, right? And how, you know what I'm saying, like when you set up your declaration, she realizes that this is not like the same deals that she can make back in the day when you was unaware of what it was. No. Confirmation, sis. And then look what came out after invite help, allowing. So yeah, your prayers have been answered. So spirit, like, just allow it to flow in. But yes, it's like this right here, like she crossed the line. She's crossed the line many times. But this is the big one where, like, this being reversed and this being thrown back in her face, this means a lot. A lot of things are changing with this. Because that signature, baby, that signature was just like hard proof. As much as she made, oh, it wasn't me, oh, I'm changed, I'm changing my heart and I'm gonna do better. Like, I'm hitting you with this issue. Like, is this your handwriting? Showing her the video playback, the recording of her signing the paper and all them in that courtroom or wherever they was at that county clerk office or that probate office, court office, whatever, signing. Is this y'all? Yeah, somebody got some explaining to do. And some identifying of where that money, anything else, spirit. Okay, so this is powerful though. Write declarations about your signature as well too. Your net worth going up. It's already been up. And now it's coming to this phase where I talk about all the time. Your bank account finna catch up with what your heart already knows that you a rich auntie. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. But write you a declaration about anything concerning that those signatures, your name being written and signed. You'll know what to say. Okay? But this is powerful, sis. And piece by piece, things are changing in a way to where you can see how everything is going to be released. You're going to see how, you know, all of those things that Spirit has been promising in the past is playing out part by part here. And that signature, like I said, I love this. It's exciting. I don't know how you feel. It's exciting for me, though, because we ain't talking about that signature for a minute. So for that to come back out now, and Spirit letting you know, like, all right, we're going back to deal with this part now. This part now, yeah, this is important. Very important. Okay? All right, Spirit, thank you so much for this. Thank you for this message. Thank you so much for this message. Thank you as well, Spirit, for the changes that you have made surrounding this wealth exchange, Spirit. I pray, God, that you punish to the highest degree any person who has forged my sister's signature, or who has signed her on to something that she did not consent to energetically. I pray, Spirit, that you let it be exposed in the loudest and the grandest and the most obvious way, first and foremost. But I also pray, Spirit, that you hold these people to the highest accountability. I thank you, Spirit, for the beautiful wealth exchange that is happening in my sister's life, that is bringing her back to her place of wealth and abundance, Spirit. Restoring her back to her rightful place. And as well, Spirit, I thank you for all of the gratification that will be continuing to heal her heart as well, Spirit, as you avenge her and make right everything that has been made wrong. Continue to protect her, Spirit. Continue to hide and preserve everything that belongs to her until you're ready for her to find it. And we thank you for it, Spirit. Thank you for clearing the way. I say. I love it, baby. They bulldozing around them motherfucking parts. Where your folks at? Sheesh. Oh, well. You're so welcome, though, sis. So welcome, beautiful. All right, April, you ready, mama? Just flow. I got you. All right, Spirit, let me tap in for my beautiful sis, April. I do want to invite all of her benevolent ones into this reading to make it very clear and concise. as we go with the flow of what she needs to hear in this moment. Please protect us as the channel and receive. Ashe. Alright, Spirit, what is the message for my sis? April? We have karma coming out here, awakening. We have divine love in reverse. We already know what this is about. Outrageous opening. Outrageous openness. Alright, so we have courage. We have ease. We have invite help. And we have freedom here. Okay. So sis, there's something for you. I've been talking about, you know, even today, but I've been talking about, especially over the past couple of weeks, the need for us to express ourselves and really express what hurt us. And you know, yesterday we were kind of talking about everything, like with the house, and you really cleaning and clearing out certain energies, and especially as it pertains to like that ex and getting him disconnected from you. Yeah, look, with energetic clearing showing up when I stopped shuffling at the bottom of the deck. There's a need for you to really talk about and express as well too, verbally, what happened to you and how it made you feel. Okay, now this can be as extreme as you needing to write a book, sis, start writing a book, or this can be as simple as you getting a journal and just writing and talking about how you feel. And heavy emphasis again on like that energy of like, sometimes we think that being tough or being strong equates to not talking about something or not saying, you know, how bad something hurt us or affected us. But for you, this is a key to healing, okay? And you remember how yesterday too I kept like referring to like there's a release that's needed, like that like boiling over type vibe, or like popping a pimple and then finally like getting that release. And it hurts to squeeze and it hurts, but it hurts worse as well to just sit there and let it just be, you know, filling you up. So the biggest thing that Spirit has been emphasizing for you, and especially as it comes to this person, their karma is to feel everything that they put you through, sis. But there's a part of you that has not really felt through everything. And I feel, even as I'm saying this to you, right, there may be a part of you that, you know, resists that, because like I said, like you're tired of feeling things, or you're tired of feeling that hurt. But this is that feeling, when I say like this is the one that releases it. I know, sis, I know this is the one that releases it though, right? Kind of like that Spirit needs you to think about it one more time. And one more time, just on that real deep level, right? To where we're really like thinking about like, yes, this shit hurt me. Yes, it made me feel away. You know what I'm saying? Yes, whatever the words are, because this is the release. Now, it's important for this message to be coming out at this time, because you have already been given the mandate to do the energetic clearing in your house altogether. But now this is about your house. What houses your spirit? What houses your soul? You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And now this is where Spirit is saying, like, even for this person to be able to get all of the karma that belongs to them, baby, you got to get them their hurt back. You feel me? And this is when Spirit says too, because it's funny, I was just talking about the wealth exchange, but Spirit has told us, especially heavy in the month of May, every person that brought negativity in this world, you got to take it out. You got to take it on back with you, baby. It ain't going to be nobody else's burden to carry. And for you, sis, you know, you're doing a great job already at making sure that you're not physically taking on any more burdens from this person by, you know, not speaking to them and not allowing them back into your life in that way. But even when we said energetically, right, when I was like, baby, check every corner, touch everything in that house, make sure there's nothing of his left behind, Spirit is almost saying you are one of those corners too. Check yourself. And everything that you don't want to think about, this is a time to really think about it. And let me be clear, think about it and talk about it, right? Because that's the thing that makes it feel so painful or makes you want to avoid it. Because just thinking about it is the same thing as like sitting there and just playing with like an open wound. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's just like constantly sticking your finger in the open wound and not doing anything about it. And that's why it's like it feels like a lot. It ain't gonna make it go away. It ain't gonna help it heal, right? But when it comes down to that space to where it's time to expose it, right? That open wound, when you get to that, you know, I remember back in the day, right, when I was a little kid and, you know, we used to fall and shit like that and you scrape yourself up. I would wear, you know, I would be told to wear a Band-Aid the first 2 or 3 days, but then after that, they would take the Band-Aid off because it needs to be exposed. It needs to get that air so we can go ahead and, you know, kind of scab up and heal and get that new skin on it. So now you're in the exposure phases, right? You had to come out of that phase of just sitting and thinking about it and being depressed about it, right? Poking the wound. And you had to get out of there to heal, to focus on something else, to realize what it was. But now, sis, when it's coming back, it's time to expose that, right? To let it be what it is. To say, yes, there is a wound there. Yes, that shit hurt me. Yes, when I look at this scar, I remember what happened to me. But now I cannot feel such a sense of despair when I look at this, because look at all the healing that I've done. And even every time I look back at this, it's going to look more and more different, right? It's going to turn into a scab and it's going to look a little nasty and a little dark and a little weird at first. It's not going to look like me. It's still not going to feel like me. But eventually, baby, that skin going to shed. It's going to smooth out. It's going to turn into my color again. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a part of who I am. And that's where you are, sis. That's where you are. So this right here, you know, I'll say this. Everything that I'm speaking to is really going to be, you know, referring to like those memories that have been wanting to pop up lately, right? Those are the ones where Spirit is telling you, baby, you're safe to just let that play out, okay? You safe to even just let the emotions flow from whatever that is, right? Because sis, is for real, like, it's giving, tell me who did it. Spirit needs to know. Spirit needs to hear you talk about it like you need to. And for the sake of you, again, getting that release valve from your own vessel to where it ain't hurting you no more, sis. It's time to talk about it. So I want to challenge you, like I said, to either get something to write down about it. Write it down, you know, and talk about it. Or if it's better for you to like say it out loud, get into your own space. If you need your liquor, sis, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know I promote that. Anything that's helping you flow, do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I know that when you are a person that is so emotionally kind of like, we ain't going there, we ain't doing any of the crying shit today, or sometimes it usually is those spaces of vulnerability, like when you are drinking a little bit or whatever, to where you can feel it flow a little bit more. But whatever is needed for you, sis, take that time and just talk about, like, that shit hurt me. I'm being led to tell you as well too, to write a letter to him, not to give to him, but write it as though you're talking to him, telling him what you did to me. This is how you made me feel. And especially those words that you never got to speak to him before having to like walk away from all of this. So yes, sis, I love that. And I love too that you already know to go to your safe space to do it, because you're going to feel a lot of love and, you know, surrounding by your ancestors as you do it. Because I have to be real, sis, it's a sense of vulnerability. You're gonna be open in this, and it's needed. It's not the vulnerability that just ends in you feeling depressed. No, you're gonna feel much lighter and much better. I would advise you to burn it. I see you burning it. And as soon as you asked me, I saw flame. So yeah, you need to burn it. And allow your ancestors, the smoke that comes up from it, yeah, tell your ancestors to alchemize that. Turn your pain into positivity. After you're burning it, tell them to turn your pain into positivity. So this as well too, can kind of go along with like that cord cutting ritual, because that requires like fire and things like that too. But you may even be led, yeah, I'm even hearing that too. Even some of the things that you find like in your house that you need to get rid of, you may be led to even throw some of those things like in the fire, right? There's something that is significant. Yeah, thank you. Because then I called you yesterday the Phoenix Rising. I said like you like a Phoenix rising from the ashes right now. So fire is important. Burn it up, sis. Okay, get you a little bonfire if you don't already have something like set up, or just some fire pit or whatever, like, but set it on fire, sis. Spirit said burn it up. But make sure when I say everything, sis, get it all out. Be as angry as you need to be as hurt as you need to be, you know what I'm saying? And you've already felt these things, right? This ain't about you feeling something new, but it's more or less about allowing that's part of you the chance to know that it is free to speak. It is free to, feel what it needs to feel, because all of your emotions are valid and they step up when they are needed, right? Like that movie Inside Out. When it's time to feel fear, fear may pop up. When it's time to be a little sad, sadness may pop up, right? There's not anything that we can control. Every emotion knows its place. But sometimes we just have to allow it. And right now it's kind of like that energy. No, sis, you'll be next, so stay close by. But it's kind of like that energy for real of like, just letting her speak. Letting that part of you speak. And it's still speaking up for you, for the whole of you, things that probably should have been said a long time ago, But just knowing that this time, sis, you're safe. You know what I'm saying? Like you're safe to speak it, and you're speaking it in a space again to where your ancestors are taking all of it and alchemizing it into something that helps you. So again, I saw very clearly as soon as these cards start laying out that karma, awakening, divine love in reverse, outrageous openness, courage. Again, that's his energy, and being able to give all of that karma back to him from this situation here that happened. But for you, beautiful, everything is still about you being very open to this healing, to this love that God is bringing into you. And that's what's happening. With the ease, the energetic clearing here is happening simultaneously. So I love that this is, again, just a continuation of even what was said on yesterday, to show you how important, this clearing space is for you. But the change, and like even what I said too about, I see this big change happening for you in July, like this boost of energy, this shift. This is what's going to do it. It makes a whole lot of sense now. So I am sending you a whole lot of love in this, sis, because I know that, again, this is not always the easiest. And even sometimes like the preconception that we will have going into this process is like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to feel it. I want to tell you, I get that, sis, but at the same time, I promise you, with extraordinary popping out here, this is how you're going to feel after everything is said and done. Because this release is a release. That's what it is. It's letting it go. It's okay, baby. Welcome in. It's okay. Okay, and then your spirit got me to say to my sis. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is, sis. The humility card came out, but this is more about like the position of this person, right? Like this is, it may feel like a very humbling space for you, and especially too if you are not a person that's emotional at all, or you've never really taken this much time and attention to like express your emotions in this way. Yeah, this may be a very, kind of humbling experience for you, and everything that you feel in this, but I promise you it's not anything for you to resent, be afraid of. Yeah, it's gonna, and as well too, this will be a time where you really see your ancestors like come through. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may be kind of laughing and crying at the same time, because you may be looking up and seeing different things happening, or birds just doing crazy shit in the middle of this going on, and you already know in answer to you what that is, who that is. So yeah, just trust me with this, is, and know as well too that hit me up. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if it gets to a space to where it's like, okay, coach, I'm out here in the middle of this and I don't even know how to feel or what to do, definitely just tap in with me. Because the biggest thing is just remembering to stay grounded in the understanding of this is a safe release. This is not one that is, yes, it's out of my control because I'm letting happen what needs to happen, but it's not one that's going to drag me to some place that I can't come back from. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but the heaviness of the emotions and all of that, you need to feel it, because that's all of that shit purging up out of you. And I'm telling you, sis, the overwhelmingness, for real, it's going to feel like you just popped a pimple. And shit might have hurt while you squeezing it, but as soon as it's done and that skin can relax back, like, that's what it's gonna feel like, man. Like, I'm okay, I'm grounded, I'm okay, I'm good in this. Okay, so yes, sis, don't be afraid of it at all. Don't be afraid of this. And even with this coming out in your readings too, your ancestors and spirit guides is already letting you know that they're a part of this. This is an organized thing, and they're just waiting on you to step into that space for the release. But they're already prepared for you. They're prepared for you. Okay, absolutely, you can. And I don't know how your neighbors are or anything like that, or you know, if you have any people that be listening besides you, right? But as long as you feel safe in that way to say everything that needs to be said, yeah, do it. I just don't want you to be anywhere or at any point in time to where you feel like you have to limit yourself, right? Like, because this is a very vulnerable thing. And a lot of times, you know, those things that we don't say, we find valid reasons not to say it. Either it's something that's so harsh to say that it may hurt somebody, or something that, you know, it might be a little mean or dark, and it's like, people may think of me different or look at me different if they know that I feel this way, right? So this needs to be, you know, very, you gotta say what it is, all that it is, okay? Yeah, so as long as that space is, you know what I'm saying, like, you feel safe saying everything, yeah, go for it, sis. But they are there with you, I promise. And like I said, if it just gets to a space where it feels like too overwhelming, just send the message, sis. Send the message, okay? Send a message. But I really feel like you really won't even have to, because the way I see your ancestors like being with you, like, you won't have to. You probably won't need to. But you got it though, sis. And like I said, some things, even in the cleaning of the house, some things will naturally begin to just flow by itself. You know, and even in that, just, you know, let it go. Don't ask yourself, what's wrong with me, or why are we doing this? Like, your body is releasing. And even you getting these readings, your subconscious is hearing me, and the activation within you that is needed to, you know, to know that you are safe for the release that's coming is already happening too. So, okay, I love it, sis. So definitely sending you love, and you know, I'll be talking to y'all a little bit later today for the other reading, but for sure, sis, you got this. You got this. And even like I said, just I saw the change happening before I saw these steps, right? So even me saying that before the end of July this is gonna change, it ought to let you know, like, yeah, this ain't gonna be as hard as you think. Like, and a lot of times, sometimes it just, I'm not even gonna say that because I want you to take your time, right? But sometimes, for real, years of trauma can be cleared in, you know, one good cry, one good session, right? Yeah. So you got it, sis. You got it. All right. Spirit, thank you so much for this message. Thank you for continuing, God, to give my sister beautiful instruction to get through this time of clearing that she's going through. I thank you, Spirit, that you You have healed her. You have taken this bandage off of the wound, God, and now everything that is left to be exposed for this healing, God, that's what you're doing. I pray, Spirit, that you give her the courage and the faith that is needed to really sit with you and to sit with this, God. And I thank you as well, Spirit, that not only will this be a beautiful release for her, God, but you're going to be restoring into her all of the beautiful love and the true identity of who she is, God, in those moments as well, too, so that she is immediately filled with goodness as she's releasing all of those things that hurt, God. I pray that you continue, God, to restore into her the abundance, God, that you have placed in her even before she came into this world, and continue to reunite her with her purpose in a very beautiful way. I pray, God, that everything that is blurring her vision or distracting her at this time that is no longer needed, God, that you allow it to be cleared away at this time as well, too, in my sister's release. And at all times throughout this, may her ancestors, God, and may you yourself remind her of just how safe and protected she is. And we thank you for that, Spirit. Ashe, ashe. All right, sis. I love you so very much. And I look forward to seeing all of the beautiful energy that this adds to your life after this. Because I know it will. Okay. All right, Mariah. If you're ready, I'm ready. And remind me of what your question was, because I think you put it in the comments yesterday, but I don't remember. But remind me what that extension question was for your love reading. You're so welcome, sis. So how does that feel about me? Okay, I got you. All right, Spirit. Let me tap in with my sweet Mariah here. I do want to invite all of her benevolent ones into this reading again for this love energy, to know exactly how Zay feels about her in this moment. And please do protect us as we channel and receive these messages. All right, Spirit. What is the energy that's saying how he feels about Mariah in this moment? He feels like you make his process easier, whatever he's going through. Now, before you shoot off, sis, because I know this, like, I know you fucking lying. You won't even let me help him. I told you that he had to receive his help from you the way that he had to receive it. And even though he may not be expressing it to you, sis, you being there, you giving your love and everything else is really helping him. I told you that he's in a very difficult part of his journey right now, to where he may not even know how to allow help the way in which you know you could give it. But he does feel that you're making things easier for him. I gotta keep it now, because it flipped. Invite help is here. He does feel like, for real, that you are help being sent to him. And it may not, I'm gonna say this, it feels more like he feels lucky just having you, right? Even I do kind of feel that there is a big capacity of him, for real, that does not know how to allow you to help, or even for the way in which God may have, like, or I'll say the reason in which God sent you into his life, the fullness of that, we haven't gotten there yet, because he's still working on the opening up. But he does still feel like in some sort of way that you are an answered prayer. Yeah, I already know, sis. I know you. It's all like, put the gun down, killer. I got it, okay? I know. But this is where you gotta hear it out, okay? But I'm telling you, like, with the invite help here, I do feel that, you know, even his spirit guides is working on him, on his side, letting him know who you are to him. So he knows, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he feels like, you know, even beyond what you feel, he feels like you're helping him. Yeah. He feels with divine abundance coming out here, he feels like you are Damn, I heard that song, Best Part. You are the best part. You are the best part. And for whatever he got going on right now, sis, like, for real, like, I get it. I get it because I'm the reader. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not I'm not in your position, and I get, you know what I'm saying, even what it feels like being in your position too, but I have to get this from the reader point of view. But yeah, with Divine Source being here, like, I do feel that he's in this place of, you know, he's really learning his lessons, but he's also like hearing from God about you. I feel like he's been praying about you. And if he's been in like a love or deep love relationship before, then he's praying that, you know, he's praying about opening up his heart again. And he's praying that this does not turn into that, another heartbreak. But if he has not experienced love on like a deep level before, then he's feeling like, damn, like, is this that type of love that people, you know, pray for? Like, he's knowing that this is something different and this is something real. And even what I said to you, sis, about like y'all being so reflective of each other, you know, in certain ways here. You've been questioning God a lot about this, and so has he. But both of you guys have been encouraged. Just like I've been on your end, like, reading for you and telling you, like, sis, if you're going to stick with it, you know, just have faith because it is going to get good. You know what I'm saying? He has been getting encouraged in the same way. And of course, he probably don't got to coach Terica, but however God is connecting with him, however his spirit guides, his ancestors are connecting with him, right? So that he does not sabotage himself or sabotage this is happening. So, you know, sis, for real, with 707 on my clock, yeah, and I've been seeing a lot of those reflective numbers, 7 number in between, then a 717 or 737, 72, something like that, right? That has been, you know, kind of like a big reminder of like the soulmate energy or like the reflective energy. Goodness is being reflected back to you. So yeah, like there is like some faith that's being pumped into the both of you right now, you know, to let you know that, look, we're right now at the bottom of the deck. I literally just said right now, but letting you know that you guys meeting each other at this time is strategic, and this is not anything that either of you should run away from. I don't feel that. And I feel like, for real, with his energy, the first card of ease being out, he's having to learn how to, you know, ease into that, but as well seeing how you are helping him in the space that he's in right now. He just got done by his ex. He's going to propose to. We broke him, and then he's working through it now. Yes. Yeah. And that even makes sense to everything that I've been telling you before on like how, you know, you won't be able to rush the process of his healing, or even just his ability to be able to look at you and not see what just happened to him. That takes time. And it's funny because I feel like maybe you didn't want to tell me that before. But yeah, that makes sense to what I'm saying, because yeah, it makes sense. But it also makes sense too, to like what I'm saying as well too, that in the midst of this, right? Because it's a lot like, what it reminds me of is, you know, my sis Diamond, and I don't think she's on here tonight, but one of the things that was very important when I did her reading, right, she had a love reading, and the thing that stood out to me was how both of them, right, were coming out of a situation at the same time when they like ran right into each other, ran back into each other. And the most vital thing for them both to remember and to hold on to in that moment was that, like, this is not what I just came from. This is not anything from my past. And even me meeting this person in the thick of my hurt is strategic. It's something that I have to acknowledge. Yeah, I can look around and just be like, oh, I'm not ready for love right now, or oh, I'm not gonna open myself up to it, and I can close off, the idea of it. But the fact that God has offered it to you is what God wants both of y'all to realize and like see that here. You could have been introduced or brought back or whatever at any point in time in his life, sis, but this time is important. And that's what, even as we're asking about his feelings and what he's, what he's seeing and realizing, he's knowing that too. And I'm hearing that proposal was, or the breaking up was divine intervention like a motherfucker. And you're meant to be his blessing, sis. And that's why, for real, like everything, even when I say like you can't pressure him, like you can't intervene with what God is doing in his life, because I see it, sis. And even what I've been saying about like the change, like the overall end all be all, I get it even more now through what I'm seeing, like through what he's feeling. And even how God is saying they're on his side too, encouraging him just like they're encouraging you. So that's why you get why now too they're saying even more, make up your mind, because when you're dealing with a situation like this that is as sensitive, right, to where a person has already been in this place to where choices has been a challenge for them, because what they thought they was choosing at first and all of that, you know what I'm saying, they ended up dropping. So now God is having to work with them to let them know like, hey, that choice, or you know what I'm saying, like us making you do something different here, or that working out, that wasn't about you needing to like get into this place to where you don't choose nothing, nobody. No, we was just trying to get you to dodge a bullet, because you need to make another choice. Her name Mariah. But you know how when you hurt, you can't see that. It's just the fact that I knew I shouldn't have opened my heart. I knew I shouldn't have chose love. I was finna marry that girl. Da, 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 da. So it's like he got to get through that. I see it. He got to get through that. But the grace that you have, sis, in that is that he got somebody over there spiritually. There's some ancestors, for real, that's in his ear. Even when he won't let you talk to him, even when he won't let you help him, there's somebody that's there with him and reminding him like, hey, yeah, you right, you valid, that shit sucked, that shit hurt, she was wrong, that shit didn't go right. But that don't mean you gotta close up your heart, because we really got love for you. And that same motion that you was just in, you know what I'm saying, to propose and to be married and everything you thought that you may be able to have with this person, yeah, we just want you to have it with the right one. We want you to have it with the right one. And like I said, I feel too, sis, that even you being present in his life is also introducing that spiritual aspect that I'm speaking of now. Because a lot of it, I do see a lot of the ones that's talking to him, baby, they your ancestors. And that makes sense too, because even the love reading I just posted, what we did yesterday, the collective love reading, I don't even think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, or whatever day it was, child. But that was the thing, the ancestors was out here arranging things for the right people to come together at the right time. So everything with this, it feels very arranged. It does. And when it come down to it, for real, sometimes your ancestors, it'll be almost like, you know how like when you date somebody and like you get cool with their mama and they get cool with your mama type shit, and it be like maybe one day you'll be tripping and all of a sudden your mama call you and be like, Zay told me you was over there acting up. You go to Zay and be like, so y'all open over here talking without me. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, it's giving that type vibe. Like somebody on your side, the ancestor, you was like, let me go over here and talk to this boy. Cause he got the whole world sitting right in front of him. He better act like he knows. Somebody going to get them together, sis, and that's why they telling you just worry about you, okay? And I hope this message like make you feel better, cause I know it's been heavy the past couple times, cause you really been like, I don't know what to do. But hopefully this like make you see it a little deeper, or even just know like to know that where you can't help, your ancestors got your back. You feel what I'm saying? Like it ain't that this person is just refusing help and not getting it at all, like sabotage. You're like, no, I see that there's really spirit here helping him not do that. And like I said, even more than what you know, you being in his life, he sees that as help too. He sees that as like a sense of relief of like, okay, I don't have to go through this alone. But the way in which he goes through it, that's a process for real. That's between him and God, and we could never change that. Now, when it comes down to it, and after you guys have even built this sense of faith through respecting each other through this part, then we will come into this space of like, okay, now we can communicate and say like, hey, I need you to communicate this way, right? Because when you do this, I feel rejected. And right now, you just think about how all this rejection energy that he's already in, it ain't okay for you to say that. That's why you have to come to me. That's why you got to come talk to me about how you feeling instead of you having to snap out on him, baby. Because for real, that's very raw energy. And even you as a divine empress realizing that right now and handling him with the space and the gentleness that is needed until he realizes that he's not in danger fully with you. That's your finesses. That's where you know what I'm saying, like you learning that shit. That's where you learning to being on your grown woman shit. But for real, this right here, yeah, this right here says like he sees you. He knows that God is behind it. Yeah, and the Your Path card coming out, he knows that you were placed on his path for a very strategic reason. He's realizing that. Signs are all around him, okay? It's everywhere. So you can take assurance in that, sis, that, because I feel like, you know, a lot of it too, right? When we know what we can do and we're not allowed to do that, sometimes it makes us feel a bit insufficient. And that's what spirit does not want to be developed within you. It ain't about that, sis. You just got to know that you so motherfucking good at what you do that even your presence is healing to that person. And right now, that's enough. We know you can do so much more, sis, you know what I'm saying? And the divine feminine in you is always going to want to do more. Ain't nothing wrong with you feeling that way. But the acceptance and the energy of like, all right, we always going to go with what God said and we're going to go with what is the flow. Right now, the flow is to play it easy. Lay back on Lil Daddy. And when he do, you know what I'm saying, let you in, baby, you come up in that motherfucker. And the song in the background says, you got to find it on your own, but I'll be here. Fuck, that's crazy. What's this song called? I'll Be Here by Moonchild. I'll Be Here by Moonchild. What's to my children's father and his life now? Nothing, sis. I'm not pulling a card on that. I already told you about that man. And I told you at the beginning of this reading, shut that shit down. And even in this, and when we talk about you taking this relationship serious and how everything that you're doing is going to be reflected in this man's life, if you don't want him to be confused and everything else about what was going on in the past and all of that, shut the door. And I told you that a while ago before we even started talking about Zay, because we knew Zay was coming. And even in that, and when I told you back then how to deal with that, if it ain't about your child, it ain't nothing to talk about. That man was at your door before he proposed to that woman. He was at your door after he proposed to that woman. He was on your phone and when he was on the honeymoon with that woman. Girl, leave that. I'm for real now, sis. I'm not finna pull shit on him. The only thing that's with that is confusion and distraction and karmic energy and fucked up energy for you. That's what's with that. It don't matter what the technicalities of how you end up walking into that trap. When you fall off in there, that's what it's gonna be. Leave that man alone. And stand 10 toes down on him leaving you alone. Because even in this, when we talk about Zay and this working out, as I told you yesterday, there are things on both ends of this spectrum that have to be done and clear for that end all be all to become the reality, for everything that I see in these cards to come out. And that right there, playing with him or even just entertaining that, baby, you gonna forfeit it for everybody. You gonna forfeit it for everybody. Tell her. Tell her. Because in all actuality, sis, like, if you done for real, you would. I tell people that all the time, you know what I'm saying? And this was before
I told y'all before, I had that time that I didn't give a fuck. Like, if you was married, you know what I'm saying, or whatever you had going on, I had just as much respect for your relationship as you did. And if you ain't had none, I didn't either, bitch. I wasn't gonna ask where she was at if you was over here. You don't care what I care for. But when it came down to it, to where it's like, bro, stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna snitch. I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna send her the screenshots. Is this what we want to do? Are you trying to arrange a threesome or what? Because if she don't know you over here, let's inform her. Because I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't even want it to be mistaken that, you know what I'm saying, like I'm that type of person to think that, you know what I'm saying, think that way of myself, that I would even be dealing with your breadcrumbing ass, or you know what I'm saying, all this shit. So sis, no. Shut it the fuck down. If you got a snitch to do that, then do so. And I know you may not be in a position to block because of your child and all of that, but like I said, sis, I told you a long time ago, and I'm gonna tell you again, you need to keep the conversation down to the minimum and make it very clear with him. And even if it come down to it, it's like, okay, well, maybe I need to make it clear. Put both of their ass in a group text and tell her what you told him to. But I'd be damned if I let you, sis, even bring that up in the glory of what we just talked about. Or even be in a position of putting the pressure on your person about not doing and you still kind of got this door halfway open. That ain't right. And that's why Spirit said yesterday, first and foremost, you got to work on all your shit, you know what I'm saying, before rushing him into doing something or responding to you in a certain way. It makes sense, sis. So do what you got to do. Snitch, you know what I'm saying, shut it down. Whatever got to be that hard ending to where you got to go there to where everybody know, let it be. But it got to be done, sis. And his energy ain't relevant to nothing that you got going on. Okay? So there it is, sis. I'll show you. Thank you, Spirit, for this. I'm going to close this out. Thank you so much for this beautiful message. Thank you as well for giving some insight on Zay, God, and even just allowing my sister to have a space of more mercy and grace for him and understanding. I pray, Spirit, for the both of them, that you complete the work, that you heal them on the deepest of deep levels, so that individually they are fully prepared for each other in this collective energy. I thank you, Spirit, for allowing the healing even to be initiated, God, through the connection of them, God, but for everything that is going to become, we thank you for it. I pray that you help my sister to stay focused, God, on what is for her, what is important. And this will help her to continue to hold beautiful space as a divine empress and a divine high priestess for her love life and for all that is good for her. Protect her spirit and everything that belongs to her. Thank you for that. Ashe. All right, love. Maria, are you ready? Big cut. I love it. Just reading this, Maria, it already feel like Spirit supported it. Just reading it, with the feeling I got in my intuition, it feel like Spirit supported it. I feel it heavily. But let me get some confirmations here. Spirit, from my sis Maria, this big move that she's made here, Spirit, do you support this big chop? Support. Yes, look at this. Look at the 3 cards that came out. Courage, letting go, and divine abundance. So yes, sis. And I know that's why I already started smiling, because I can feel why you did that. I can feel what fell off of you when you cut that. Spirit knows too. So yeah, all that you let go with that, you know what I'm saying, Spirit, even though the courage that it took, and you know what was happening for you in that moment. So yeah, Spirit sees that as divine abundance, what you did. Yeah, I love it. Individuality at the bottom of the deck too. So yes, sis, I love this for you. And Spirit definitely is saying yes, 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 yes. You did the right thing. And like I said, it feels more, you know, this was the motion, right? But I see what happened. Like, I see what you actually shed off. So, yes, yes. Big approval from Spirit, sis. I love it. Thank you so much for that energy, spirit. Thank you for that big confirmation and smiling on my sis. All right, y'all. I think that's it. If nobody else is sending in, I think we done for tonight. Let me just double check and make sure I didn't miss anybody. But I love y'all so very much. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Check this. You're so welcome, sis. You're so welcome. Okay, yep, and she was the last one. All right, so we good. But yeah, we're gonna be done. I'll talk to y'all again soon. I'm gonna try to get up and come on live again tomorrow too, but we'll see what happens. Like when I tell you my body, waking up it's not for the faint of heart. Even had to start a little later this morning because I was struggling a little bit. But I love y'all again. Thank y'all for being here, and I'll let y'all know at some point later in the day whether or not we'll be back on tomorrow. Alright, but enjoy your night or your day wherever you are. And I'll talk to you guys again soon.